Well, we first met, I think, at church when I first moved here in 1972. And his son Lane and my son Lane also, they were about the same age. And so we sort of bonded, and we were pretty much alike. We were both born the same year under the same moon, so we had the same interests, and we just hit it off together. And he was a great outdoorsman, and I'm an outdoorsman, and he helped me in a lot of areas in my work. I'm an artist, and he modeled for me at different times when I had somebody strong to copy. He was a fit guy and extremely strong. And so I used him a lot in models. I did a piece, I was White House artist under President Reagan. I had a piece to do for the White House, and Duane modeled for me. And it was a Native American sending an eagle off his arm. And he had all the veins in his hand and arm, and I used that. And it was a very successful piece. He went back there with me too when we put that piece in, and it weighed about 800 pounds. So we had to really struggle getting it in. we got it in. And then we did some other shows together. He went with me some different shows. I remember one time we went down to San Antonio and we did a show there, and he looked like a movie star. You know, he's a great big tall guy. He had a dark brown suit on and cowboy boots, has made him even look taller. Good looking guy, and I'd only seen this in movies. There was about 4,000 people at this convention they had, and they had a big dance one night, and there was 300 or 400 people dancing. And so him and this gal got up there and they started dancing, and the whole crowd just moved aside, and it was just them. I couldn't believe it. I only saw that in movies. It actually happened. And they all applauded when they got finished dancing. He was incredible. I didn't know that side. And I understood later that back in Nashville, Tennessee at the Grand Ole Opry, he won a dance contest one time. So he was quite a guy.
Multi-talented.
Yeah, multi-talented.
Awesome. Thank you, Doug. Is there anything else you want to say?
You know, one of the funny things that happened with him, we used to go down and mine for gold, and we'd put on these wetsuits and go in the water. So he told me, he says, you know, you can't, with the water, when you're wet, you can't get these suits on and off. So we get some, he says, you go down and buy some women's pantyhose, and you put these pantyhose on, and then they come off easier. So we're out in the mountains, and I'm looking around. We got to strip down and put these pantyhose on. I wasn't too sure about that. So we did that, and it worked. And I remember he had to buy Big Mama's pantyhose. So that was pretty funny. He didn't let anybody know about it. So anyway, that was I'm sure he didn't tell that story too many times. But anyway, we had a lot of fun together, and he was really a wonderful person, and I'm really going to miss him.
Duane to me meant a man that worked hard, did a great job, meticulous work, methodical work, and kind, soft-spoken. And during my speech, I know I mentioned the fact that he helped me practice on the backhoe to learn how to operate smooth and safe. And I'll never forget that because it got me the job where I'm at today. And Karen, just a ball of fire, energy. My wife and I, Linda, we both love Karen. We've got to spend the night in their apartment a couple times. And just salt of the earth people is all we can say. So we're just blessed that we got to know him, and wish that it was we met him earlier in our lives, and it could have continued on a lot longer with Duane.
It comes to mind when you say Papa Dewey. Let's think. Well, I met him a few times. It's my third time up to the mountain, and Cami had always described him to me a couple of times before I'd actually met him, and I got to see this place. Just a very hardworking, very quiet, very just like knew what he wanted to do, and was just doing it. You know, I think a lot of people get, stuck in like their day-to-day of, they have all these goals that they want to do, and then they just kind of do other things that are kind of not productive. But everything that he was doing, and once I met him and saw him, and saw everything that he built, I didn't see it in Lane. I see it in Randall. I see it, he always was doing something productive that was going towards the goal, and what a big goal he had with this property and the family he created.
One time, me and my older brother Cody, we were at the house at, was it Penn Valley? And we were throwing dirt clods at each other. And I threw one and I broke a flower pot. And he blackmailed me. He's like, "You better do what I say, or I'm gonna tell Papa Dewey." But it was just, he always respected Papa Dewey, but then he gave you like a $50 bill when you didn't expect it. And he's just a tough exterior, but a soft, gooey interior.
Honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is just reminiscing on the last 3 months when he was living in Chico. I realized that growing up, I didn't really have a lot of conversations with Papa necessarily. Like, I would see him around and he was, just doing his thing, always working. But we never really had one-on-one time where he's sharing a story or just spending time together. And with him being so close in Chico, it was I could go over there and he'd be playing the piano and me and Cameron would dance and Grandma would get up and we'd all just have our own little party together. And then he would, either lay down or sit down and just share stories, whether it was the same story 5 or 6 times in a row, but he still delivered with the same enthusiasm every single time. So I think those last couple months, getting to spend that time with him is now just kind of what I think of when I think of him. It's similar to what Jody had shared today. He'd say, "You're a beautiful girl. Don't settle for a man that doesn't know how to take care of you," and things like that. So I think now being engaged and choosing who I'll spend the rest of my life with, having that voice in the back of my head and him meeting Cameron and having full approval is definitely nice going into that. So, yeah.
He'll be the one that always started with playing with the spoons, I mean, he had the rhythm, but he didn't know what song it was. He just wanted to play the spoons. He just played them. He didn't care what it was. He just did it. And the piano, the song, every time he played that same song. I'm glad. I tried to figure out what he was playing, but I was like, I don't know what, I'm just going to go for it and see what we can do. But we all played by ear. When I think every time I drove up here, I always expect, because, it's Papa Dewey and Grandma Kay, Papa Dewey and Grandma Kay, because, and the time I came up here on Friday, it kind of hit me a little bit, now it's this place is going to be here, and I always ask my parents, what are we going to do with the mountain? What's going to happen to it, because we can't sell it, we can't do that, and there's so many memories up here of us growing up, and it's just gonna be hard to have someone else come up here and have the same memories. And it's hard to have those feelings and go okay, I'm just gonna sell the mountain. But I think Papa Dewey wants us to cherish this mountain as much as we can until someone else does, but still we always live, he's always with us in our hearts, and we love him a lot. And Papa Dewey, I want to say thank you for teaching me how to work hard and accomplish what I do, and no matter what I go through, I always remember you, Papa. Love you.
I think of course all the hard work he's done forever, and a focus on that, and his love for being outside, and his love for God, and seeing him here, kind of one and the same in his perspective, I think. I don't remember my youth, but I remember to always drive the golf carts slow, and that we're driving them too fast. So that's probably one of my first memories.
Yeah, just fun. The most fun childhood memories that I have. I'm just looking at this where we are now. all of the Easter egg hunts that we had here, and yeah, just like sweet memories of joy. I remember I would bring my college friends here from college, and we do like spring break trips, and we would leave and they would just say like, whoa, we like felt the peace of the Lord like on that property, like we felt the joy, like we felt like, yeah, that land has been stewarded like with so much like tenderness and like love. And you know, for like random people to just like come here and be like, this place is like beautiful and holy, and it's like wild. So yeah, that's what I think about when I think of him, and just like how I'm not actually his granddaughter. I'm a great niece, but was loved and taken in like a granddaughter, and feel grateful for that. So yeah.